Bulgaria has revealed it will not join the coalition pushing for more military aid to the Kyiv regime. Speaking on Tuesday, July 14, Prime Minister Radev underlined that his country has no alignment with the Western coalition of the willing, advocating further military and financial support for Ukraine. The PM argued the conflict should be solved diplomatically and that prolonging arms supplies risks escalation. Radev revealed that Bulgaria has exhausted its capacity to send further materials. In quote, "We provided 13 packages. We do not have anything else to supply to Ukraine." Radev made the remarks on the sidelines of the NATO summit in Ankara, Turkey. His stance comes as several NATO members, including Slovakia, Hungary, and the Czech Republic, declined to back the latest €70 billion military aid plan for the Kyiv government. Moscow has meanwhile described Western arms deliveries as prolonging the war, with Russian officials warning against turning Ukraine into a testing ground for new weapons. Turkey under President Recep Erdogan has marked the 10th anniversary of the July 15, 2016 failed coup, calling it an entirely new chapter for the country. Speaking Tuesday, July 14, Erdogan said the public's resistance turned the night into a great victory for democracy. The head of state noted that 253 people were killed and over 2,000 wounded, blaming the Golanist terror group, and vowed to continue the fight against it within the framework of the national law. In the meantime, Vice President also praised the country's resistance, saying Turkey remains committed to a stronger democracy and a future free from all forms of terrorism. India's free trade agreement with the United Kingdom came into force on Wednesday, July 15, giving nearly 99% of Indian exports duty-free access to the UK market. The Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement, along with the Social Security Pact, is expected to ease trade barriers and strengthen bilateral economic ties. The deal is set to benefit key sectors, including textile, leather, footwear, gem and jewelry, processed food, marine products, engineering, goods, and auto components. It also marks a new phase in India-UK economic cooperation as both sides seek to expand trade and investment. Reports say the new Social Security Pact will benefit over 75,000 Indian professionals working in the United Kingdom. Thousands of supporters of French nationalist politician Florian Philippot marched through Paris on Tuesday, July 14 to protest the participation of Ukrainian troops in France's Bastille Day parade, chanting "Soldiers of Ukraine go home" and "Soldiers of NATO go home." They accused President Emmanuel Macron of turning the national celebration into a show of support for Kyiv. Philippot called the demonstration a real national parade, saying it should be 100% free and French. The march came after the official Bastille Day event, where Ukrainian troops appeared in the procession for the first time alongside European leaders, including EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. A Chinese envoy has called for stronger efforts to protect political stability in West Africa and the Sahel, saying the region remains broadly stable but still faces serious security and development pressures. Solely China's representative to the United Nations told the Security Council Tuesday that countries in the region need support in governance, elections, and counterterrorism. Sun said the Sahel's security outlook has grown increasingly complex and severe and urged deeper cooperation on border control, intelligence sharing, and joint operations. He also said the international community should back long-term development through investment in agriculture, jobs, and infrastructure, while China remains ready to expand practical cooperation with the region. Mali's armed forces, former and Russia's Africa Corps Tuesday reported to have retaken the strategic northern town of Anafis after over a week of fighting. Our forces have taken total control of Anafis, Farmer said, adding that they are conducting clearing operations. The military reported that a convoy from Gao entered Anafis on July 9 after air and ground operations. 15 airstrikes destroyed 12 combat vehicles and killed nearly 100 militants across Anafi, Tabrichard, and Kulebara within 24 hours. Africa Corps released footage of a destroyed pickup with a Zu-23 gun. FLA fighters had earlier claimed control of parts of Anafis but acknowledged losses. The clashes, which began with the FLA attack on July 4th, are part of Mali's long-running fight against jihadist groups and comes amid Bamako's deepening security ties with the Russian Federation since 2024. President also Peter Mutharika of Malawi has vowed a crackdown on people smuggling mineral resources, warning that those involved are traitors, selling the country's wealth for personal gains. He made the remarks Monday during the swearing-in of Toko Tembo as Malawi's first Minister of Mining at Kamazu Palace. Mutharika said the mining sector could boost economic growth, but only if government secures better deals with investors and put national interests first. He also said illegal smugglers and cartels will be pursued as his administration moves to strengthen oversight of the sector. Radev said the upcoming Third Russia-Africa Summit will offer a chance to deepen ties between Moscow and African states. Foreign Minister Abdullahi Sabri Fadul said this after talks in Moscow with Sergei Lavrov that the two sides want pragmatic, mutually beneficial, and results-oriented relations. Fadul also said Chad wants ties with Russia to go beyond security and defense, arguing that economic cooperation remains underdeveloped. The meeting ended with a visa-free travel agreement for diplomatic and service passport holders. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov revealed that the agreement will mark an important practical step towards consolidating regular contacts between the countries. Also, the Chadian diplomat commended Moscow's stance regarding the reform of the UN Security Council to meet the realities of a multipolar world and contemporary global realities. He quoted, "Since 1945, Africa has only been forced to comply with decisions made by others, even though these decisions directly concern them. We welcome all powers, led by the Russian Federation, that support this common position of African countries aimed at improving and ensuring greater justice in global governance." The pending summit is slated for October 28-29 in Moscow. Young leaders from across Africa gathered in Brazzaville on July 12, 2026 for a Model Africa Union Summit focused on Africa youth and employment in the digital age. Organized by the Brazzaville International Youth Leadership Forum, the event brought together students, association leaders, and youth representatives to debate jobs, digital transformation, and entrepreneurship. Participants said the exercise gave them a chance to step into African Union-style negotiations and propose practical solutions to shared challenges. Commenting on this initiative, Eswell Bakisi, president of the League of Russian University Graduates and member of the Global International Association, stressed that young people are increasingly interested in issues that affect them, adding that youths are ready to take responsibility and contribute to change. Through these discussions and presentations, the young leaders developed proposals on issues such as jobs, digital change, among others.